Are you tired of your sieges ending in disaster? Want to crush your enemies and claim their castles with ease? In this video, I'll reveal the top siege attack strategies in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord that will turn you into a master tactician. So for the first strategy, what you're going to do is you're going to build trebuchets in all 4 of your ranged siege engine slots. Once one of your trebuchets is built, what you're going to do is you're going to click on it and select Move to Reserve. What this is going to do is it's going to keep your trebuchet from being completely destroyed. Now keep in mind that your trebuchet will take a little bit of damage by the time you get it moved to the reserve, but this isn't a huge problem. Once all of your trebuchets are built and put into the reserve, what you're going to do is you're going to pause the game and then place all of your trebuchets at the same time. That way they can attack the enemy siege engines quickly. And 9 times out of 10, they will kill all of the enemy siege equipment without taking a loss, but if they do, just build another trebuchet in its place. Once all of the enemy siege engines are destroyed, the trebuchets will then start attacking the walls and doing damage to those. So at this point, you just wait out the wall's destruction until it's completely destroyed, and then once it's destroyed, you're going to lead an assault. So now that we're in the battle, we're going to place our infantry in the shield wall formation, and then place our archers into a loose formation, and then we're going to move our infantry up to just outside of the broken wall, and then have the archers placed behind them. That way they can counter the enemy archers on the wall. For the final part of this strategy, what we're going to do is dismount your horse, and then go into the wall and bait out as many enemy infantry as you can, and they will come out so far, and then as they turn around to run back inside of the castle, your archers will then shoot them in the back, and you can just keep doing this as many times as you want and just dwindle their forces down as much as possible. Once you think you've taken out enough of the enemy army and the odds are in your favor, you can then charge in your infantry and take the castle. So for the next strategy, what you're going to do is after the siege camp is built, you're going to immediately build a ram. The ram in this instance is going to serve as a diversion, but it can also be used as a contingency plan in case the next part of this strategy does not work. Once your ram is built, you're going to lead an assault. The first thing you're going to do when you get into the battle is you're going to rush on horseback to the ladders. Once you get to the ladders, you're going to dismount your horse and then raise the ladders. And then the next part of this strategy is you're going to want to place as many archers as you can behind you, a little bit away from the ladders. That way they can shoot the enemy infantry at the top that are going to try and knock the ladders down. This strategy is really good for castles that don't have a lot of high tier units, and they're mainly using militia from the castle, or maybe some peasants or something like that. If you do have more higher tier units, you can also alternate between which ladders you are using, so on the left side, or you can rotate to the right side to use a different set of ladders for the attack. The third strategy is really going to depend on how good you are as a player. So once your siege camp is built, what you're going to do is immediately rush the wall with a horse and dismount. Similar to the last tactic, you're going to immediately raise the ladder. But instead of letting your units climb it, what you're going to do is get up the ladder as fast as you can, shooting anybody that tries to knock the ladder down as you go up. Once you fight your way through the top, what you're going to do is immediately rush the gate and open it. After you open the gate, you're going to have your infantry charge straight in through the gates that you just opened. One thing I forgot to mention is before you go up the wall, you're going to want to have your infantry wait by the front gate in a shield wall formation. That way they take the least amount of casualties as possible until you can get that gate open. The fourth strategy is similar to the first strategy that I showed you, where you built the trebuchets and then put them in reserve. Except for this strategy, before you deploy your trebuchets, what you're going to do is build some siege towers. After the siege towers are built, then you can feel free to deploy your trebuchets so that they destroy the enemy siege engines. Once the enemy siege engines are destroyed, your siege towers will be able to reach the walls without being destroyed. Once the enemy siege engines are destroyed, what you're going to do is lead an assault, and then when you get in the battle, you're going to let your siege towers reach the walls. And then once they do that, you're going to deploy your archers in a loose formation behind them in a line. That way they can help the infantry fight back the enemy infantry, as well as guard them from archers on the walls. This strategy is much harder with only one siege tower because the enemy AI will focus all of its efforts on that one wall, and it will be very difficult for you to penetrate that enemy formation. So make sure that you build both siege towers and you do the same tactic with both. So this next strategy is sort of a cheese strategy. What you're going to do is you're going to build your trebuchets like normal and then move them to the reserve. Once you have the trebuchets in reserve, you're going to build onagers next and then put them in the reserve. And then you're going to place your trebuchets and allow them to kill the enemy siege equipment. Once the enemy siege equipment is destroyed, you're going to replace your trebuchets with the onagers. And then as soon as the enemy siege equipment is completely wiped out and there's none on screen, pause the game and then lead an assault. As soon as you're in the battle, you're going to hit auto deploy and then tell all of your units to hold position. Now for some reason, the units will inevitably run up to the siege ladders and try and raise them, even while being told to hold position. These units will probably die, but it's a small price to pay for the next part of the strategy. What you're going to do is you're just going to let your AI kill as many enemies as possible with the siege equipment. You can also use one of the siege engines yourself if you feel like you are good at using them. For me, I've found that I get a lot more kills whenever I use the siege equipment personally. And you're just going to wait until you run out of ammo in all of your siege weapons, and then you're going to press tab and then press retreat. For doing this, there is no penalty, so you can do this as many times as you want to. Just rinse and repeat this strategy until you feel comfortable with the army that you have attacking this castle. That is all of the siege attack strategies that I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy the video, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any more, just comment those down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.